Today we're diving into Deep Work by Cal Newport. This book is honestly an essential read for anyone trying to get meaningful stuff done in our crazy, distracted world. So let's break down the core ideas and figure out why they matter now more than ever. Does this sound familiar? You've had a day that was just slammed. Your inbox is a disaster, notifications are pinging left and right, you're jumping between meetings, and at the end of it all, you just lean back in your chair and think, what did I actually do today? It's this exhausting and super common cycle. Well, according to Cal Newport, you're not alone. And there's actually a name for this feeling of being constantly busy but totally unproductive. It's called shallow work. And the scary part is, it's become the default way we operate in most modern jobs. So, how in the world did we get here, right? How did being constantly distracted become our normal? The book argues that we're all caught up in this cult of busyness. Let's dig into what's really fueling it. Okay, let's get really clear on what shallow work actually is. It's not just work that's unimportant. It's the stuff that doesn't really stretch your brain. You know, things like firing off a quick email reply or sorting some files. These tasks make you feel busy, but they don't produce any real lasting value. And here's the kicker. They're super easy for someone else or even a computer to do. And here are the usual suspects, the architects of our distraction. Open offices? Yeah, they were supposed to be for collaboration, but they mostly just create constant interruptions. Instant messaging platforms demand that we answer right now, completely shattering our concentration. And because it's hard to measure what real productivity looks like, we fall into this trap where just looking busy has become the stand-in for actually being productive.
Oh, right. So being distracted is annoying. We get that. But Newport's argument is that this is way more serious. This isn't just about feeling better at the end of the day. Nope. This is about your economic future in a world that is changing ridiculously fast.
This is really the core economic argument of the whole book. We are in what economists call the Great Restructuring. And to put it simply, it just means that technology and intelligent machines are getting better, faster, at an incredible rate. And for a lot of people, our job skills just aren't keeping up. This is creating a huge split in the workforce. So, in this new reality, who's actually winning? Who's thriving? Well, Newport says there are three specific groups that are just pulling away from everybody else. And here they are. You've got the high-skilled workers who know how to work with really complex tech. You've got the superstars, the absolute best of the best in what they do. And of course, you have the owners of capital, the people who can fund all this new technology. And what's the one thing they all have in common? They have skills that are complex, valuable, and, this is the most important part, really, really hard to replicate. And this brings us to the single most important point. The ability to learn hard things quickly and to then produce work at an elite level, that's not just a nice-to-have skill anymore. It's the price of admission. It boils down to this. If you can't learn, you can't thrive. Period. So if shallow work is the problem, what's the solution? Well, this brings us to the hero of our story, the antidote to all this distraction. It's called deep work, and it's your professional superpower. Deep work is the polar opposite of shallow work. It's that state of flow, when you're completely immersed in what you're doing, zero distractions, pushing your brain to its absolute limit. This is where the magic happens. It's where you learn new skills, where you have breakthroughs, and where you create things that are uniquely valuable. So here it is, the great divide, side by side. You've got one path defined by distraction and doing stuff anyone can do, and the other is defined by intense focus and creating unique value. Newport's entire argument is that our economy is starting to massively reward the people in the right column while the left column is slowly becoming obsolete. So the question is, which side do you want to be on? Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do you actually do it? How do you work deeply in a world that seems designed to fight your focus at every single turn? Well, thankfully, the book gives us some really practical rules. Here are three really powerful rules you can start with. First, and this is a big one, embrace boredom. Seriously, if you pull out your phone every single time you have a spare second, you're literally training your brain not to focus. Concentration is a muscle. You have to train it. Second, adopt the craftsman approach to your tech tools. Don't use an app just because it offers some tiny benefit. Ask yourself, does this tool provide massive value for my most important goals? If not, ditch it. And third, you have to drain the shallows. That means you get intentional. You schedule your deep work sessions like they're the most important meetings of the day, and you put a strict time limit on shallow stuff like checking email. And look, this isn't just theory. Just look at the writer Baratunde Thurston. He was super connected, constantly on social media and a million online conversations. And in his own words, he was completely burnt out, fried, done, toast. He knew he needed to make a radical change. So what happened after just 25 days of being offline? The results were incredible. His stress levels just plummeted. He rediscovered the simple joy of experiencing life without feeling like he had to document and share every second of it. He found this amazing new sense of clarity. It just goes to show you, stepping away from these tools isn't about depriving yourself, it's about getting your brain back.
Now we get to what I think is the most profound part of the book. The benefits of deep work go way, way beyond just your job title or how much money you make. This quote really just gets to the heart of it all, doesn't it? Our life experience, who we are, is literally the sum of what we pay attention to. And if our attention is constantly being shattered into a million little pieces by trivial things, well, our quality of life is going to reflect that. So when you commit to deep work, you're not just being more productive, you're actually engaging with the world on a much more meaningful level. You're building a sense of craftsmanship, of pride in what you do, and that's where real satisfaction comes from. Not from getting to inbox zero, but from creating something valuable with intense, focused effort. And that's really the ultimate takeaway. The skills that you build doing deep work, concentration, focus, dedication, are the very same skills that help you build a meaningful and fulfilling life. It's about choosing depth over shallowness, not just at work, but in everything you do. So, as we wrap this up, just remember, the goal isn't to change everything overnight. The journey to a deep life, it starts with one small, deliberate step. So think about this question. What is the one notification you can turn off tomorrow? The 1 hour you can block out for focused work? The fight for your focus begins with a single, small victory. What's yours going to be?